people of the internet. It is day 17 of Red Instead Autism Acceptance Month, whatever. And the topic that I've chosen to talk about today borders on the topic that I think it has been discussed fairly often. And I've probably mentioned it before, but I wanted to make its own sort of video because, once again, having ideas for 30 videos is hard. Anyway, also if you're seeing this jumper a lot, that's because I'm filming a lot of videos on the same day, and I like this jumper. Anyway, basically the topic that I'm trying to talk about today is I've come to call reverse masking, basically. And masking is of course something that's been talked about a lot, and I've talked about reverse masking before a little bit, I think, and I think it was in the autism and puberty video, which is up there. I will link it up there. Yeah, so, but I'll try to explain again what exactly I mean by that first. So basically, one of the sort of main problems you have as an autistic human, especially as when you're a little bit younger, maybe like teenage, that's sort of when it starts, is that, well, we're kind of weird. And I would appreciate it if the cat would stop screaming. Cat! Yeah! Hey! Yeah, we're kind of weird. And, well, there's basically more or less two ways to deal with that. One is trying as hard as possible to not be weird, to not be called out for being weird, and so basically trying to act as normal as possible, which is mostly known as masking. But then you also have another possibility, which is trying to be as weird as possible on purpose, so that, if you're weird not on purpose, no one notices. And that's what I've come to call reverse masking or anti-masking sometimes. And yeah, that I haven't seen that talked too much about, and personally I think that applies a lot more to me than masking ever really did. So basically I mean, as a child, really, I just started to cultivate a sort of proudness and the art of being weird. And being weird as possible, being as weird as possible, so that people didn't notice when I was accidentally weird not on purpose. And I was actually quite proud of that. And I was always very weirded out by things when anybody tried to convince me that I was normal, because I was in fact very proud of the fact that I was not normal. Which, I mean, in retrospect that makes sense, but then I did not know. I really like being weird, and I've come to call that effect anti-masking. And until right now, it's sort of, that all sounds like fun and games. Okay, yeah, you're weird on purpose, and therefore it doesn't bother you when other people find you weird. Everything's fine. Well, the problem is that acting, whether you're trying to act normal or trying to act weird, actually both are exhausting, because both are acting. Both, you have to act to be something. act to be something that you're not. And so to a degree, even if you're trying to be weird, you're still changing your behavior. Yeah. Where was I going with this? I've forgotten where I was going with this, and I didn't write anything else. I think the script is incomplete. But yeah, I haven't really heard that effect talked about very much. I actually think that was all I had to say on that. And I'd be very interested if there are more people who have experienced this or who have done it to some degree. And I think actually sort of a combination of both both is possible. Yeah, I think it's very possible to have a combination of both, to do a combination of both of the things, and I think just to some degree I did. I sort of slid a little bit more into masking later on, because, well, people always told me, well, if you weren't so weird, you know, this wouldn't happen. Whatever it was, I was just told that a lot. I don't even remember why. So of course, you know, when if I ever did want something, usually I was just like, well, then I don't want it, you know, because I was weird, or I tried to be weird. But yeah, and I don't know, I think I preferred that still, even though it was probably just as exhausting as masking. It kind of, in a way, it already created a sort of proudness of being autistic, even though I didn't know that I was that. And I'm still sort of working on getting back to that again. Although it's very, very hard, because I had more energy back then and now I have less energy, and it's kind of exhausting. But everything is exhausting, so you know. But anyway, yeah, that's the video. I'm starting to turn in circles again. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, maybe you know this dance already, then you know what it means. Otherwise I'll leave you to guess in the comments. Probably not, but anyway. And if you haven't already, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to this lovely channel of mine. And I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.